Hey everybody, Jason Blaha with Ice Cream Fitness here. Someone suggested in my comments yesterday that they would like to see me do a video explaining why I dislike the dumbbell shoulder press. And it's because of my other video on how to bring up lagging shoulders that I'm going to link here, and I'm going to link down in the comments below. But hold on, let me give you guys a bicep shot first. Okay, on the why I dislike the dumbbell shoulder press. I do prefer, for the novice and for people's basic routines, I do prefer the standing press as their primary shoulder builder. And it's not because it stimulates better delt growth specifically over something like the dumbbell press for shoulders. It has more to do with the fact that it's a superior compound movement. It is a superior movement for overall development. It works the upper chest to a much larger degree than dumbbells are going to do, and it can remove the need for someone early in their training to even bother with something like incline work. So it serves multiple purposes. And I think that as a general rule, when picking basic compound movements, your concern with those movements oftentimes needs to be how effective they are at overall buildup versus how effectively they recruit the muscles in an individual head of a muscle group. People will point out, well, the dumbbell shoulder press is superior to the standing press for deltoid recruitment. But if that is the criteria by which you are selecting your compound movements, then the behind the neck press should be your go-to movement because it overwhelmingly beats the dumbbell shoulder press in terms of recruitment of both the medial and anterior head. So if that is your goal, to pick the compound that hits it the most effectively, you can throw the dumbbells away. You don't need them. Then there comes the safety issue and the awkwardness of it. Because with the seated shoulder press with a dumbbell, it's difficult to get the dumbbells into position, meaning you oftentimes require spotters. It's just a hassle to get them into position, and I've known quite a few people who've had minor pulls and injuries just getting them into position. Because of the nature of the movement, the way you come down with the dumbbells, you can't do the full range of motion, which is, again, part of the reason why you don't get enough chest involvement and it doesn't work your upper chest. But because you can't come down as easily, it creates, again, an awkward movement to where you're having to do partial reps without any sort of rack or anything like that. And by going too low on those, you can lose stability and risk an injury. So they're generally just awkward, they're annoying to get into place, and they increase the chance of injury over using a barbell inside of a proper rack for anything. So the question becomes, why bother? If a movement is inferior for any aspect of what you're looking at, either in terms of overall development, or when compared with the behind the neck press, it's inferior in terms of actually recruiting the primary movers, it's more awkward and there's a higher chance of injury, then why would you even bother with it? I don't really see the point or the need for it. Now, it will be pointed out by many people that because it is dumbbells and thus you're going to have unilateral balance, if for anyone who's developed a delt imbalance, it can potentially correct that, and so it's very good for that. Well, again, I would argue there that while that might be true, why deal with the awkwardness of it? You can continue to do your barbell presses as your primary mass builder, and you can take an isolation movement and fix the problem even quicker, because based upon all available data for bringing up just, say, the medial head of the delt, both side lateral raises with cables and dumbbells as well as band face pulls all hit the medial head of the delt far more effectively than a seated dumbbell press, thus making it, even for purposes of bringing up a unilateral imbalance and correcting a muscle balance, it makes it inferior for that also. So again, I ask the question of what use is this movement? Sure, it's popular. Sure, people have built many impressive physiques with it, using it as a staple in their routine. I just don't happen to be a fan of it personally. And people are free to do what they want. If you happen to love the movement and you don't mind these inconveniences, then by all means do it. But for me personally, I don't do it. I have no use for it. And I do not include this in programs that I write for people. All right, guys, I hope this has been informative. That's really all I have to say on that today, and I will talk to you next time.